Hey there, this is Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics, and this is Belmont over here. This is Cannabis and Conspiracies. He's the cannabis, I'm the conspiracy. He does a little bit of conspiracy stuff, though. He does. He does.
I live
He
for
does.
this.
Yeah, he earns his keep. All right. Today we are doing the mysterious and shadowy Men in Black, and Mr. Belmont has a ton of stuff to do today. So we are pretty much going to go down this rabbit hole. Um, the Men in Black, there is a lot of evidence that they've been around quite a while. There's actually a phenomenon where people that were representing Satan wore black and were like showing up as far back as the medieval times, the satanic figures in black or whatever. Um, and so if you want to trace it back that far, it's also like been around quite a while. Um,
Oh yeah.
then I think the recent phenomenon might go back as I think the Project Blue Book people that were doing investigations and things like that. There seems to be a parallel going on with that. But anyway, so we are here to talk about the mysterious individuals who tend to show up when people are discussing UFOs. So that could be part CIA.
Oh yeah.
Right. Uh, it's a good book called The President's Vampire. It has a really good take on these guys. In that book, they are like CIA black book specialists that are like sent to another dimension and come back not quite human anymore. Uh, and like and like some satanic ritual or something. Um, but those guys, they can disappear and they can like hide in shadows and things like that. So they kind of, it's also on the Fringe. You ever see that show, The Fringe?
I haven't watched The Fringe.
Well, you need to, because most of this stuff is on the Fringe. But those Men in Black are from the future, and
Hmm.
they're like aliens that invaded the world from in the future, and then like went back to adjust the world that they're living in. You know, like went back through time to adjust the world they're living in, and through subtle ways. Anyway, it's a real complicated plot line. Great show. But
I'll have to
that
check it out.
Yeah. It's worth your time. Worth your time. There's also really creepy version of them in. I think it's Doctor Who, the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith. I think it's like the third season. They go into they have like these aliens that are literally Men in Black. That called Silence. The Silence. They're really creepy as crap, man. So those are good pop culture references. But today we're going to talk about the quote unquote real thing. So
Yeah, the real deal, not the shit, not Will Smith and
no,
Tommy Lee Jones.
no.
Oh,
Which you believe? Another conspiracy theory is that they were invented. That series was invented to kind of like downplay them, make them
I believe
heroic
that
or
because when you
whatever.
type in Men in Black, that's all you see is Will Smith, Will Smith, Will Smith. Scenes from Men in
Right.
Black, scenes from Men in Black. It's kind of like they covered up the serious subject and put comedy over it, and then plastered it all over. So when you search for it, that's what the majority pops up, unless you dig deep.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Saeed Sabbath says, "Oh yeah, they were very creepy." Talking about the X Files used them once, right. Yeah. X Files was basically based on Project Blue Book, so Project Blue Book is definitely maybe a rabbit hole we can go down sometime.
Well, I missed the X-Files. I mean, I didn't really care for the movies. I wanted to like them, but it just didn't do it for me. But the show, when they rebooted it and did those like few episodes, that was pretty good. And I was like, oh, I hope they do more, but they just stopped. You know what I mean?
So you've only seen the reboot?
No, I've seen the originals too, but I'm
Right.
saying I didn't really like the movies. They weren't really well made. You know what I mean? The show was better.
Yeah. There's only like one movie I know of. There's like more than one.
I think there's two, isn't there?
Okay. I only
Maybe
remember
I'm
the
just
one. I
lying.
have to
I
look
don't
that up. It don't matter. Don't matter. Anyway. So the Man in Black phenomenon goes back that quite a ways, but it's become like inextricably linked with the alien phenomenon, the UFO phenomenon. This guy's showing up when people are discussing or making noise about UFOs and UFO sightings. Sometimes before they make the noise.
Yeah,
These
they like
guys will show up.
they know that you saw something, and they come to your house and knock on your doors. Usually two of them.
I saw it was groups of three. So
Well,
two.
sometimes it could
Right.
be more than one. I've seen four, but rarely
Mhm.
do you see like one alone. But it does happen. There's even
Right.
been women men in black. I guess a rare occurrence. But
Mm-hmm.
there are a couple people that say they saw a woman.
Does
That
that
was a
mean we
man in
have to
black.
call them persons in black now?
Yeah, we got to call them people in black.
People in black. Oh, okay. Persons in black. There
Yeah,
you gotta be gender neutral.
yeah. We can't assume the men in black's gender.
No. Can't. Anyway, so yeah, there's been like a documentation that was leaked when um with that cache of files that the guy put on the internet a few years ago. Snowden.
Yeah.
There was like information in that cache of files that he leaked. Person's a garment color, folks. Right. Yep. But in that cache of information he leaked, there seemed to be like fake UFOs and things like that. Documents that seem to indicate that there's an organization within the government that's actually pushing the UFO phenomenon. But I mean, who knows what's really going on? We're just here to like give out folk the facts that we know and let you draw your own conclusions, because that's what we do here. We don't draw conclusions. Anyway, so what's up first, Mr. Belmont?
Well, I wanted to talk about these so-called men, which might not even be men at all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Some say they have telepathic powers where they can actually hear what you're thinking in your mind and kind of know what you're going to do or say.
Right.
They seem not to have any body hair, like on their face. Sometimes when they're
that was in the fringe. They pushed that in the fringe.
Yeah, and they have like these weird like kind of faces, and when they're together, like two or three of them or whatever, usually the same height, which is very strange. They're all dressed the same way, exact same outfits, kind of like in outdated suits from like from the 50s era or something like that.
Right.
And they all seem to be the exact same size, height. It's just like they're clones. You know what I mean? Like they're twins. It's just
they wear like Homburg hats or whatever. Yeah.
Fedoras or whatever.
Yeah. That's so you got like pictures of them through time or something. There's been appearances.
No. Well, I was gonna show Dan Aykroyd actually came across the Men in Black once.
Right.
I had this clip I wanted to show. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty neat story that he has.
As long as it's not Joe Rogan, we'll get struck for Joe Rogan.
No, it's not Joe Rogan.
Okay. All right. Let's see it.
All right. Let me get it queued up here. Let's go. It starts in a couple seconds.
Well, what happened? We sold the show to Sci-Fi Channel, and it was called Out There, and I basically interviewed all of the people that I admired in various fields of study, like Colin Andrews from the Crop Circle movement, Linda Moulton Howe, the expert on cattle mutilations, John Mack. And let me just put a pin in things right there, because John Mack has taken the study of abductions, UFOs, right out through the other side, and he's going, yes, we know they're here, we know they're coming, we know people have been taken, we know there's experimentation going on, we know people have been told about agendas. What we now have to do is use that as a key and as a motivation to socially transform this planet to a more peaceful, more loving, more tolerant state. So his movement, the movement for social change, has just accepts as a fact abductions, UFOs, interplanetary intervention, and what he's doing is taking it out through the positive side of it and saying, now we must use it to socially transform. And I think his message is great. But I talked to him, I talked to the Allagash guys who were taken in the canoe on that trip in Pennsylvania. The last show we did, I had both Bassett, who has the UFO time clock, and then Greer. Both Bassett and Greer were there. They were my two guests for the day. Well, the show was canceled that afternoon. And I was outside, before I knew it was canceled, in between the interviews. And I was outside, and Britney Spears called me because she wanted me to appear on Saturday Night Live with her. And so I was outside having a cigarette, the phone rang. Oh, Brittany, how you doing? Oh, sure, of course I will. I turned away like this. I turned back, and there was a black Ford across the road, a black Ford sedan. And I was trying to look at the plate, and the plate seemed kind of like fuzzy, and I was, definitely a police car. And two guys were there, and a big, big, tall guy got out of the back seat. And he stood in the street on 42nd Street it was. We were at 42nd Street and 8th Avenue. And he looked right at me. And literally, I was on the phone. Hey, oh, sure, of course I'd love for the show. Saw the Ford, went back like this, turned back like a half second later, and it was gone. And that car did not go past me. It did not make a U-turn, because I would have seen 42nd Street. I would have seen that thing take a U-turn and go away. That car vanished. That car was a cloaked vehicle of some type. And whether this was like a warning to me, because the guy got out of the back seat, gave me a real dirty look. That car vanished. I know what I saw. And it was just this fast. It was, oh, hi, Brittany, sure. Oh, of course, I'd love to. Guy gives me a dirty look. Oh, well, sure. Car gone. That's what happened. And then 2 hours later, we were told we were not to continue taping, and the show was canceled, and none of them would air. I don't know. I don't know. Was that an MIB experience? Black helicopters, military abductions that happen. Sometimes people are taken, and they talk about then being visited by military personnel and debriefed about their abduction. Was it a technology associated with some of these beings that are visiting that wanted to warn me off, or that wanted to give me verification that I was on the right track? I don't know. But I do know I did turn back a second later, and it takes so long for an automobile accelerating from 0 to 40 miles an hour to reach the corner of 8th Avenue and 42nd Street going past me, and then pulling a U-turn and going out towards Times Square. I would have seen that car. And I looked around. I was looking for that, then it was gone. So, I don't know. The tapes exist. I have them. We're going to try to repackage them. We might put them out on DVD.
So he had a counter with these guys, and they seem to have, technology that can cloak.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the first person to say something like that, where you see these guys and then they turn around or notice that they're just gone.
Well, bear in mind, Dan Aykroyd is pretty much a loon. So, consider the source. We're talking about somebody.
I enjoy his movies.
Yeah, but you're talking about somebody routinely sees UFOs. Routinely sees UFOs. So bear in mind, consider the source. He thinks that Herkimer diamonds somehow filter, his vodka. So just it is what it is. But
I'm going to actually We're gonna partner with Dan Aykroyd and push his thing. He wanted me to play his commercial.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right.
We brought our project this far. We now have a touchstone and replica, which allows us, if we wish, to connect to the message of the Crystal Head's purpose on Earth, the enlightenment of humankind to the spiritual awakening, which can occur in all of us, and the acceptance that there is more to life than mere material reality. Hopefully, this acceptance will lead to a less violent and more harmonious world as we respect the idea of higher power sources. Now, what to put in a bottle laden with such symbology and iconographic value? Such a symbol which speaks to our own common universality should have joy associated with it, shouldn't it? Also, since we are challenging traditional belief with the legend, the project should have a challenging aspect to it as well. We have this mystic symbol in which we have chosen to enclose joy in the form of a very pure alcoholic beverage. Which beverage, however? Only the most challenging arena in the legal recreational consumables industry: vodka. Why another vodka? Because we have an opportunity to do something different and indeed enlightened in this category. Since we are encouraging discussion on matters of spirit, we must do so in an earnest, heartfelt, and credible manner. The liquid in these bottles must be the purest as is achievable. To tell you how we did achieve this, I'm going to turn you over now to my friend Phil Power of the Newfoundland Liquor Corporation, where we are manufacturing Crystal Head vodka. We chose Newfoundland because of the purity of their land and their water. Newfoundland is known in Canada as the Rock, and for good reason. It's located off the coast of Canada, about 1,000 miles east of New York. It's so far east, it's in its own time zone, and it is in the easternmost part of North America. Therefore, it is far away from most forms of pollution and enables us to use some of the purest ingredients possible. Here's Phil to tell you more.
Thanks, Dan. We were very excited when you brought this project to us. In order to make Crystal Head vodka, we use the purest alcohol available. It's not double distilled, it's not triple distilled, it's quadruple distilled. This alcohol contains no fusel oils. These are compounds or impurities that are found in whiskeys, brandies, and rums, and we certainly do not want to have these in Crystal Head vodka. The next step in making Crystal Head vodka is to use pure Newfoundland water. We take this water and blend it with our alcohol, and then we triple filter it through carbon to ensure its complete neutrality. Just when we thought we could not make Crystal Head vodka any more pure, Dan came up with a suggestion. He proposed filtering it through diamonds. We triple filter the vodka through 500 million year old crystals known as Herkimer diamonds. No one can explain why, but people who have tasted the vodka have noticed a difference, perhaps an even greater purity of spirit. We then hand fill each bottle and put it in this unique gift box before sending it out to you to enjoy. Back to you, Dan.
Thanks, Phil. Now, today, although the majority of vodka drinkers prefer absolutely no taste whatsoever in their beverage, we are confident that people will enjoy the very slight, creamy sweetness given to the tongue and palate from a serving of Crystal Head, triple Herkimer diamond filtered Newfoundland deep aquifer pure spirit vodka.
Say that 10 times fast.
I knew you'd like that one, buddy.
Yeah. James has been wanting me to play that, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah. So it's just says howdy. Ackroyd's a loon, but he's a good storyteller. Dan is a supernatural enthusiast. Yes, he is. That's a good way of putting it. I still have to try that vodka. Coco Shuko says he's got spirit. Saeed Sabah says want that vodka, and Coco Shuko says elixir vodka. Anyway,
It does look cool though, you know, this crystal skull though. To keep it as, like, a piece in your house or something. But the way he sells it though, it's almost like he's trying to come off as funny, but he's not. But he's not really supposed to be funny.
No, he's sincere.
He's sincere, but it's so funny though. It's actually makes it funny.
Right. Well, I don't know. I mean, he's a believer. I mean, he's a total believer. I mean, totally. I mean, he's sold. He is completely sold. He actually has a MIB car. Yeah, he's got like a Mercury Marauder. It's that Panther platform. That's his tooling around car. Anyway, so I think he's a hippie or something. Yeah, he's a hippie or something. Yeah, it's like he's trying to educate someone. Yes,
I think
he's
it was a
trying
part of
to.
MUFON, right?
Yeah, I think so. No, he thinks that the aliens are trying to take us to utopia. That's what he thinks they're after. But you know what? If you remember the Twilight Zone episode, To Serve Man, they created a utopia so mankind would stop killing each other because they wanted the food source. So, yeah, just pointing that out. Anyway. All right. So this is Man in Black. Yep.
Yeah, this is one of the early photos that was ever captured of a Men in Black to prove their existence. You can see he's kind of like tucked away in that doorway right there, acting kind of shady.
Mm-hmm.
That's the background I'm using right now for today's show for my green screen.
Right. Yeah. So why do they think he was a Man in Black?
It was some UFO thing that happened in that little town, and they came around and they were asking questions. They're just very strange, like like the other people were talking about how they talk and how they seem to know what you're thinking. And they were driving this car, I guess. That's from the same set of photos that the person took of that guy in the doorway.
Oh, they weren't Man in Black. They were from the mob. That's a mob car right there.
Yeah, someone took a picture of this car that the Men in Black were supposedly driving in.
Okay. Yeah, mob cars, you could pick a family 5 in the trunk,
Oh, yeah. Look at this guy. Would you want him knocking at your door, but like, hey, Bunny, I heard you saw a UFO. Looks a little bit like Johnny Depp.
Yep. Looks like somebody that's self-important, though.
He has a very serious look on. That's one hell of a poker face. Looks like he wants to, like, I don't know, like he would kill somebody in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It's got a weird vibe to him. I wouldn't want to mess with that guy.
Right.
Look at this. There's four of them. It's kind of a strange photo.
Well, actually, that's from the show Fringe. The Fringe.
Oh, was it? So I wasn't sure on this one.
Yeah, that's from the show.
This is how they dress and exactly how they look. So they did a pretty good job on it. And they made it black and white to make it look like an old photo.
Yeah, that's definitely from the show The Fringe. Yep.
Is this from the show too?
It kind of looks like it because
I'm not familiar with this photograph either.
Yeah.
So there's so much misinformation on the internet. You don't know which photos are real now, which ones are from movies or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they had a bunch of actors and they shaved their eyebrows and shaved their head, and they put them in those suits. So I don't think that's not from the Fringe.
No, these two. This is actually security footage. This one guy, I think, came across UFOs or saw something, and then these two Men in Black actually went to his workplace, but he wasn't working that day. He works at a hotel. So the hotel has a lot of cameras. So they captured the two Men in Black guys walking in, and they started asking the other employees questions like, where is he? They didn't really believe that he was, not working that day. And the whole thing was strange because both these guys were the same height, wearing the exact same thing, looked exactly the same, no facial hair. They can I was going to play this clip that kind of where they talk about this thing, because this is kind of a recent Men in Black sighting. It didn't happen too long ago. You know what I mean?
Okay.
In the 2000s. So
yeah, somebody needs to upgrade their surveillance equipment.
There's a better picture I got too. Let me show you another one.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
There's a better one, slightly
Yeah.
better.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
But I guess I think the equipment was kind of like going kind of acting weird too. The cameras and stuff when they entered, their bodies are morphing a little bit. Just strange stuff happened when they came into this hotel looking for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play this clip here.
One of my bellmen approached me, and he kind of had a weird look on his face, and he said to me, can we go in your office and talk? I brought him into my office, and he says, something really weird happened here yesterday, and you weren't here. He said, there's a couple guys in here looking for you. And I said, a couple guys? What do you mean? And he said, well, this is really hard for me to say. He said, but there's a couple really strange-looking men that were here, and they kind of freaked everybody out, and they were asking questions about you. And, of course, now I'm getting a little bit nervous, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, well, he goes, I don't know how to describe them except for extremely odd-looking. They were really, really tall. He said, and they were identical height. They were the exact same height. They were wearing the exact same clothes, and they had the exact same faces, like they were twins. And he said they were wearing black suits, black trench coats. They were wearing like the old-fashioned Federo hats. They had extremely, extremely pale skin. And he said they came in, and they looked around a little bit, and they asked for you. And I said, I'm sorry, he's actually not working today. And it seemed like they didn't believe me, so they started to walk around the hotel, and shortly after they went to the tour desk, and he goes, I got busy. I started to have to bring cars around and get luggage, and by the time I came back, they were gone. But he goes, they freaked me out, and I really wanted to tell you that there were these weird guys in here looking for you. So, of course, now I'm a little bit skeptical and I'm a little bit freaked out all at the same time. So the first thing I do is I run into my security office because I know how to work the security system, and I rewound the cameras, and sure enough, here comes two gentlemen through the front door looking exactly how he described. Then the next day, I was talking with my tour desk, and one of them asked to talk to me. She came in my office, the same as my bellman, and she said, I need to tell you about something that happened. I heard that you heard that there were some men looking for you. And I said, yes. And she said, they asked a few questions about you, and they said strange things that I didn't understand. And they were talking about governments and conspiracies, and none of it made any sense to me. But she goes, they were very, very scary. And I said, well, why were they scary? And she said, they had no facial hair, none. She said they had no eyebrows, no eyelashes, nothing. Their hair looked like they had a wig on, like it was attached to their hat, like it wasn't even real. And she said, and the scariest thing, their eyes were so big and so blue that they almost hypnotized me a little bit. And she goes, and you're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but I swear they knew what I was thinking. I swear. And I don't think I'm crazy, but I don't even know how they could do it, and I don't know why I'm even telling you this. She goes, so I started to think about things other than you, and I don't even know if it worked. And she started to cry, and she said one more thing before she left. She said, these men, they didn't blink. Not once did I see them blink.
Well,
What's up, Mad Ruth?
hey.
Hojo's,
yeah.
Yeah. Two evidence black.
Yeah, I think we're all going to be seeing those men in black.
Yeah, now
before
there's
too much
87,000 more men in black.
Yeah. Yep. If we don't overturn that, they'll be crawling up everybody's butt. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, it's I guess they're kind of the personification of governmental overreach. That whole we're all being watched. That well, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Sure is.
That's right. Yeah,
Hey,
hell
Will.
yo, what's up, Will? Uh, but yeah, I mean, I guess they're like the personification of that. It's like we all believe that there's layers of the government that are, that are supernatural. That are like, kind of like they've got another agenda involved, obscuring the truth. Uh, like the whole when we went through the Smithsonian and all that stuff about how Smithsonian kept showing up every time that somebody discovered something at least a little bit out of the ordinary, and it's like, oh, we need this, and then later on it's like, oh, we don't know what you're talking about.
We don't have that.
We don't have that. What are you talking about? That's never existed.
That guy doesn't work for us.
Right. We keep running into this over and over again, this whole entire narrative that the government is obscuring things from us, and that there's a whole entire strata of our government that's involved in doing so. And I guess it's the American mythology in a way. The Europeans, they have like their mythologies of demons and goblins and things like that. Well, America, we have our mythology that's essentially our government's out to get us, But we keep running into these apparatuses of the government that are like trying to suppress things, or trying to shut people up, or trying to, intimidate people. But the more we go to conspiracies, cannabis and conspiracies, we look at our previous episodes, that seems to be a theme that comes up over and over and over again. This one though, Kokoshuko says something interesting down there. CIA, DEA, DOJ, and NSA are running the show from behind the scenes. Yeah. Will says the government's out to destroy the Western world. Maybe they are. I don't know. It's interesting that in the last few years, especially with the COVID shutdowns and things like that, that the a lot of things that I believed about what their government was capable of were just thrown out the window. And I think a lot of us had a very eye-opening experience of just how far they will go, and just how easily our democracy could be subverted. I think we all thought that there are certain parts of about our country that were bulletproof, and that just got disproven, and so narratives like this, that there's this organization that exists that is going to show up at your door, just isn't. It's not like going away. It's actually getting more and more plausible as we go. Like eventually we're going to do these secret organizations. Skull and Bones. Well, I don't know. You seem to not want to do those. So
No, I don't want. I want to stay away from people's kill list.
yeah, I got you. Just watch the World Economic Forum, you see. Yeah, the WEF. I mean, the leader of that, the Klaus Schwab guy, is wearing those robes. I mean, it's like, are you serious? He's out. He's doing that out in the open. What? And yeah, it's like the more we go, the more the stuff just seems plausible. We need to get rid of all the alphabet agencies. Yes, we do. We definitely do.
Well, the Men in Black is not even a real agency that we know the name of. It's just these guys that come out and handle anytime somebody comes out with evidence that proves aliens exist, or a show gets too close to the truth, they will threaten them to cancel it, not broadcast it, not do the interview, not do that presentation. I've heard it many, many times where they would threaten people like UFO researchers not to do presentations and talk about certain subjects and threaten their lives or threaten their families' lives or say something like, you know, you can end up in the desert or with your family or something. You know what I mean?
Well, it's just interesting to me that a lot of these tactics that they're using are the same ones that they reputed the mob uses, you know. You know, the whole like, you know, you didn't see anything. If you did see anything, then it would be unfortunate for you. So it's best for your health that you didn't see anything.
Yeah, they don't,
you know?
they say like indirect threats, but directly, but like
Right.
worded perfectly so it's not technically a threat.
Yeah, it's like, oh well, they were just like warning you. I mean, it's just like it sounds
It'd be
pretty
a
benign to me.
shame if you guys got gunned down in front of your house after you aired that show.
Yeah, it's like, did you know that such and such disappeared? You remember them? Yeah. So those things that do happen in this world. You know, the disappearances do happen. You know,
Yeah,
they
that
just
was
do.
about that lady that had like the biggest anti-vax website.
Yeah.
And she made videos where she said she would never commit suicide. Ever, ever. Never thought about it, never dreamed of it. And guess what? She died of a suicide.
Right. What was his name? McAfee said, "I will never ever commit suicide. It will never happen. You know, I'm telling you right now, this will never happen." And then, McAfee committed suicide. You know, and there's a guy, you know, he's talking about Hillary Clinton, the Arkansas side, and people around her, just like the whole Epstein thing. That happened in plain sight.
The cameras just they don't have that footage. We don't know what happened.
Oh, I don't know what happened. The cameras went, and then he turned up dead. You know, it's like, and it was in plain sight. We're all joking about it. Oh, Epstein, man, I wouldn't give a plug nickel for that guy's life. You know, Hillary Clinton's like, you know, going to get him killed. And son of a bitch got killed. It's like, what? And then what's her name? The Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever her name is.
Oh,
Vince Foster, right. But you know, they're talking about her. It's like her lawyer was like freaking out because they put her on suicide watch, and she was not suicidal. And it's like, she's not suicidal. Don't, you know, he was trying to get a mistrial declared, you know, because he's like, suddenly she's like put on suicide watch. He's like, no, she's not suicidal. You know, he's doing all these interviews telling people she's not suicidal. If something happens to her, it's not suicide. You know, evidently it succeeded because she's not dead yet. So, you know,
I want to make it clear right now that I am not suicidal, nor have I ever been, nor will I ever do it. So if anything happens to me, Bunny.
All right. Well, you're living in like deep blue, so I'm not scared of it as you are. So, you know, it is what it is. But the thing about it is, though, is I think a lot of this has to do with that distrust of governmental agencies that, you know, may or may not exist. You know, and you know, I don't know. I mean, I kind of like thought I knew how far down the rabbit hole goes, but this last few years has just completely, totally blown me out of. His girlfriend is in prison for sex trafficking. No one, 0 clients, right? There you go. Oh, by the way, meanwhile, people who may or may not have handled Ashley Biden's diary are put in jail. You know.
Who the fuck showers with their daughter, man?
Yeah, seriously, the president of the United States, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, I showed videos of him groping little girls to a guy who was a liberal, and I was expecting him to be disgusted. He told me, "Well, those are just doctored videos."
He did it this weekend.
He does it all the
He
time.
did
It
it
was
this
a
weekend.
montage. It was a montage of videos of him touching little boys.
Yeah,
and
but
girls.
it's still going on. It's still
Yeah.
going on. And then
He's
he's
trying to
sitting there
say that it's all a lie, that it's just manipulation with video, with special effects.
that many times, seriously, and they're in front of him like,
Yeah, he's like sniffing people and you know what I mean, doing all kinds of crazy shit.
right. So I mean, yeah, and oh, by the way, his son is like, directly connected to two foreign entities, directly connected. I mean, there's no switch out. Directly worked for. There's a paper trail,
Yeah.
and there's evidence. There's like files and files of evidence. Him admitting it, and it's like, and everybody's like, oh, nothing to see here, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. But then Trump's like, one phone call. Oh, we got to impeach.
What's up, Piggy?
And oh, by the way, the whole impeachment was over a quid quo pro, about, basically, we need you, they said he alleged that you need to do me a favor to help me win this election, and that's why they impeached him, right? Then Joe Biden does the exact thing that he's accused that they impeached Trump for. The Saudi Arabians like, oh, we have evidence that he basically told us, we need to pump more oil in time for the midterms. I mean, it's like the exact thing that they impeached Trump for, and nobody is talking about it. Nobody.
This country is like under communism, like a soft communism right now, or a hidden communism.
I mean, they're doing it in plain sight. I mean, they're literally doing it in plain sight. I mean, men in black could be walking down Main Street right now, threatening people, and it wouldn't matter because, I mean, it's like they're told, oh, there's nothing to see here. I mean, when you see somebody in front of a burning building and an overturned cop car, and they're telling you, oh, these protests are mostly peaceful.
Yeah, don't even believe what you're seeing. You know what I mean? Just
don't even believe what you're seeing in front of you.
Children belong to the state. You have no say in them.
Yeah, and there's an FBI agent that's like blowing the whistle right now. That all the January the 6th investigation across the country, everybody that they open investigations on got a different number. So it looks like it's thousands of open investigations of domestic terrorism. And so instead of like one case, they've separated it all into thousands of different numbers. So it looks like there's that many open investigations. Doesn't seem that implausible anymore. It just doesn't. Because they're doing shit like this in plain sight now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the whole world's weird. What about, the whole thing in Ukraine? Who is at a war with another country and has time to take photos and do a photo shoot for a fucking magazine cover? Have you ever dreamed of a situation like that? Not even in a movie would that happen, but it happened in real life.
That same asshole sat there and gave them his wish list.
Oh, yeah, his wish list.
Dictated his wish list. Oh, we're going to need $5 billion to get through the end of this year. I mean, his wish list. He's sitting there like dictating to them how much money he wants them to send him. And then everybody's like, oh, okay, well, let's see if we can find it.
Yeah, then meanwhile, there's like, fake videos of soldiers like holding wooden guns or whatever, cardboard guns.
Yeah.
And fucking supposed to be dead bodies behind them, and you can see the guys moving in the body bags behind them.
Yeah.
It's this world is nuts. You can actually fake a war right now. That war might not even exist. How the fuck do we know? You know what I mean? Can you prove that war is happening? Who stops and does a photo shoot, man? That's very suspect to me. You know what I mean?
Well, and then Nancy Pelosi goes to Taiwan against the CCP's like warnings with her son. And oh, by the way, you know what her son does? Her son is like trading in microchips, And and suddenly we're announcing a contract with Taiwan for microprocessors.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why is he risking the communist government coming after us? Why is he risking this? And then his son closes a deal while she's there in Taiwan, right out in the open.
Yeah,
And
we
then
got
suddenly,
Rosie doing inside trades, and somehow her husband knows what stocks to pick and which ones to dump.
He's a stock speculator. He's not a stock trader. He's a speculator, which means he trades before the stocks rise or fall, and he has a 90-something% success rate.
He's just really good at what he does.
Yeah, he's just really, really, really good. The next highest success rate is about 48%.
My favorite is that he got a DUI and didn't even get charged with a felony.
A DUI with a possible fatality.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, there's damage. He did damage to people, and then they drove him around in their car, waiting for him to sober up. Enough to take a blood test. They drove him around in the car, and it's just like it's out in the open, especially these blue states. These blue states like New York and California. I mean, it's just blatant. It's just so damn blatant. We're shutting down everybody. You can't leave your house. Oh, by the way, we're going to have a party at the French Laundry. out in the open, And then it's like nothing to see here. And so we're talking about these guys, showing up doing these clandestine operations. I don't think they even need to anymore. I think the time of the men in black is pretty much over because they don't even bother hiding it anymore.
No, it's right out there in the open. 1 minute they say the pandemic's over, and then the next minute they're saying your kids got to wear masks.
Yeah,
they want your kids to get vaccinated. Which one is it? Is the pandemic over, or you want to keep it going? I guess officially, publicly on the news, they want to act like it's over, but behind the scenes, they're pushing it.
Well, then the president, the president has a mic in his face and he says, "Oh yeah, well it's over. The pandemic's over. We need to get back to work." And then all of a sudden, the White House is like, "He misspoke. It's not over. It's not over." And the minority hire, who's currently the press secretary, stumbling around with her book in her face, it's like, "Oh no, that's not what he meant." It's like, he said it.
Yeah, they flip-flop like every day now. You know what I mean? Who knows what their view is or what the truth is, or
it's crazy. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like this all the stuff that we were always speculating about, like the Men in Black. All the stuff we were always speculating about seems to be coming true. It seems to be like spilling out into the real world. All these conspiracies we had, I mean, super villains are real, and they're like ruling everything now. And it's just like the DOJ is like saying, "Oh, it's open season on Supreme Court justices." Yeah. Oh, they got doxxed, and all those people, those crazy people outside their house with duct tape and paraphernalia. It's like, yeah, okay. Well, that guy's already out on the street. They let him go. That guy who had all that paraphernalia in his car, planning on attacking Kavanaugh and his family, is already out on the street.
Oh yeah, they let murderers back out in the street. Just the next day. Like, there you go.
Yeah,
have a good day.
They're destabilizing the country, and they're doing it right out in the open. I mean, and so here we are. We're like talking about this clandestine group of possible governmentally connected people, like intimidating people in the dead of night. That there's this school doing it out in the open now. Just it's like nothing to see here, and it's like this whole entire thing. It's no longer. I don't even know if this is conspiracy theory anymore.
Yeah, man, we're going into the direction of the country is not the direction I want it to go in any way, shape, or form. And I don't know. We're just in weird times, Bunny, man. We're just
yeah. And it's just It's getting exponentially weirder every day. But the thing about it is, though, I mean, yeah, I think the day is coming where we're just not even going to have a show anymore because all the conspiracies are going to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some guys knocking at my door one of these days, but the show's probably not big enough yet for that to happen.
No. Well, if we ever get some traction, we're probably going to have to disavow this whole entire damn thing. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I that's not me on that show. I don't know who that guy is.
Who's that guy?
No, I don't know who that guy
He
is.
looks a little bit like me.
But yeah, I mean, it's Man in Black conspiracy, though. I mean, it's I guess if you look at the the whole entire where did it come from? Why do people still talk about it? And it's just like we all feel it. We all feel that we're being lied to. We're all feeling like the government's working for other people besides us, and we all feel like it's us against them. And it's last few years have just proven that that literally is the truth. I mean, it literally is the truth. And I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take for people to wake up and realize that even if there's a regime change in a couple months, I mean, next month actually, even if it all switches red, a lot of this stuff is still going to be happening because it doesn't matter red or blue anymore. I mean, the same people that say, we're gonna fix this, fix that, and fix that, and yet here they had like both branches of Congress and the president of the United States ready to just sign anything that they did, and they still couldn't get rid of Obamacare because John McCain got off his deathbed with a brain tumor the size of a handball and flew to Washington D.C. supposedly and kiboshed the whole thing. The guy wasn't even capable of feeding himself, and so supposedly he was able to will himself in and put the kibosh on this thing. I mean, it's just I don't know what's going to
the whole
take.
Obamacare really pissed me off because they're like, fining me for not having something that I didn't want because it was too expensive. So fine me
It's
for not wanting
socialism.
something.
It was mass scale socialism, and it's still screwed up. I got friends of mine who still don't have health care because of it, because the VA and got mixed up in the Obamacare thing, and they got to where if the free VA, if you had a Obamacare available to you, you couldn't have the free VA anymore. And yeah, sport to keep fighting for rights and freedoms every single day, never get up and give in to authoritarianism. Yeah,
well, what happened in Canada? People stood up, and then PayPal, took down the GoFundMe or whatever it was for the truckers.
Yeah,
deemed everybody who gave money to the truckers as,
they're having hearings right now. They're having hearings right now that are just like our January 6th, attacking those truckers, saying that there was an insurrection. And because they did not do any physical damage to people, that the whole entire case is predicated on the fact that they made people feel unsafe. That's what they're convicting these people on, because they made people feel unsafe. I felt that I was in danger. And that's what they're convicting them on, is the fact that they felt in danger. And if you see anything happening in Canada is coming here, Canada's the canary in the coal mine. If you see, if they're doing it in Canada, they're going to do it here.
And Europe. Yeah. That's why I watch Europe too.
Right. I guess Mad Ruth must be Canadian.
Yeah, he is. He served in the military for the Canadian Army or whatever.
Right. Well, Canadian SAS is no joke. They're actually one of the best fighting forces in the world. But I don't know. I mean, you got that clown in charge up there, and the guy's incoherent. I mean, he did this. James showed me this. It was like a piece, on him, like declaring that you could no longer use bottled water and plastics or whatever. And he's sitting there and he's trying to explain that he and his family is like plastic free, and he screws up like 3 times mentioning bottled water. Yeah. And this is like, that's your prime minister.
Who gets caught doing blackface 3 times?
Yeah. So many times he did. Doesn't even remember how many times he did it.
3 different times, man.
Yeah, exactly. No consequences whatsoever. And nobody likes him. Nobody likes him.
He supposedly gets reelected over and over again, right?
Yeah. Well, that last time he got elected because they shut down the country, wouldn't allow anybody to leave, and he called a special election. That's why he's still prime minister. He called a special election after they declared that nobody could leave their home. And they didn't do mail-in voting, voting either.
So he just voted himself for himself?
Yeah, essentially. That's how he's still in power, because
How
everybody
long is
hates
his
his
term?
guts. Their terms are like 8 years or something like that.
My God.
3 times elected, twice the minority. He's declaring he's a minority. He's the whitest guy I've ever seen. It is what it is. Anyway, sorry that things took a turn today, but it's kind of like apropos to, the Men in Black thing. That secretive governmental agency walking around intimidating people, just doesn't have the implausibility anymore that it used to. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, would you want these guys coming to your house? This is the most recent photograph that was taken as of the Men in Black. Just a couple years old, I think. It's not that long ago that this came out.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But look at these dudes, man.
Yep. Won't be long before they'll officially know their names, probably.
Do you remember that whole thing when Obama was president and they had that security guard that was seen and he looked kind of like an alien, or like his face was really weird? You remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
If you look, let me zoom in on this. But in the background of this photo, you see it? Can you see him now?
Yeah, I can see him.
You see him right here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had this guy come out. He's like similar looking to a Men in Black. He has no facial hair, and his face like kind of like started morphing. Like in this video, he's like seen behind. He was like a security guard or a CIA agent or something like that, and he's just just standing up and looking around, looking for trouble or whatever, looking to see if there's any security risks or whatever. And you can see like his face like starts doing weird shit, like his side of his head, like a bump, like a thing.
What, like Fetterman's, like John Fetterman's neck?
Yeah, I know, it's weird. It's like almost like a cell phone, like thing came on the side of his head, but like looks like a cell phone was underneath his head or something, like a big glob of something just popped out of his head. I gotta find that video. It's very strange. Like his head starts morphing around and doing weird shit. But
well,
who knows what secrets they're keeping or whatever, who these guys are, if they're aliens or part alien, part human or something like that, or whatever they are. But
well, I don't know. So it's all out. They're all out to get us anymore. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did go on a little bit of a rant.
We did.
But we're in weird times, man. These are some of the strangest times. You know what I mean? It's just so weird, and time seems to be going by so fast. I don't know if you guys noticed that, or if I'm just losing it, but it seems like these days.
You might be like losing time because of all the pot you're smoking.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I think that's what's going on with you. So yeah.
For
us in the sober world, though, time is passing pretty fast. Though I'll confirm that much.
Yeah, it's like you hit 30 or like 21, then you're 30, then you're 35, then your 40th birthday is around the corner. Holy shit!
Yeah.
You know?
I hear you. Anyway, so this is the part where we start talking about what we're going to look at into next time. Do you have any ideas? Do you have anything that you're eager to cover?
Well, there's Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. I thought you
We've
said
been kind of avoiding that because it's kind of a subject that a lot of people talk about, but that's one subject.
Anybody else?
Georgia Guidestones I wanted to do, but now that they kind of collapsed, I guess we could do that.
Well, they're still interesting. They're still interesting. So, yeah.
That is another one I wanted to cover.
All right. We'll do Georgia Guidestones. That'll work.
All right.
So next time, guys, we're going to do the Georgia Guidestones, the belated and not lamented Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah, I was so surprised by that news, man. They just blew the fucker up.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised
that it came. Then I thought they were going to repair it, or just make another one, another slab. And then they went in there with the, bulldozer or whatever and just knocked the whole thing down.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean,
I wasn't expecting that, man. You know what I mean? That was like out of left field.
Well, I mean, those things appeared out of left field anyway, so
Yeah, and the whole thing is just crazy, and they never got caught either after blowing it up. As far as I know, nobody's.
No, they know who did it. They know who did it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, he got caught.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they know who did it.
Okay, we'll talk about that on the next episode then.
No problem, man. That's what we're going to do. Next time it's going to be Georgia Guidestones, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the rant, but I thought it was apropos to the subject. So that has been Men in Black. Next week will be Georgia Guidestones. This has been Cannabis and Conspiracies. Remember, we don't make any conclusions here. We just give you the facts and you can draw the conclusions. And because here on Cannabis and Conspiracies, the truth is high. Have a good day.
Headline Division, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings.
When I was in England, I experimented with marijuana a time or two, and I didn't like it, and didn't inhale, and never tried it again.